My name is Devendra Sharma and I'm a folk artist from India, and my artistic tradition is called Nautanki. Nautanki is an operatic tradition where we sing everything, we sing a storyline, and it used to be of around 12 hours duration or sometimes 8 hours. So it used to start at 10 p.m. in the night and then will continue till 6 a.m. when the sun rises. So a long opera, but very interesting. It is a mix of humor and farce and melodrama. It was actually the most popular folk form of India, northern India, not southern, but northern India, before Bombay film industry or Bollywood emerged. So I belong to that folk form. Yes, and my father is one of the most renowned artists, foremost artists of this folk form. So I was lucky. I grew up performing with him. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to sit on the stage itself when my father was used to perform, and I used to collect rewards from audiences because it's very informal. Nautanki is audiences participate in the performance as much as artists do. So whenever they think that oh, the show is dragging, they would stop it and they would say, no, do some comic thing or sing a song, and then you can resume the storyline. And it is very informal. People, particularly family members of the artists, can sit on one corner of the stage itself, and around sometimes in big shows there would be 25,000 to 50,000 people watching. So it is kind of a rock show, and you would be surprised that 50 years back there were no microphones. So it was very difficult to throw your voice, but artists developed this voice culture where they could throw their voice, and now it seems unbelievable, but I have heard them. They had such strong but melodious voices, and they would throw their voice to 1 mile or more than 1 mile without microphones. What interests me in Performing Diaspora is that Performing Diaspora program is I think it's a very cutting edge program. Because it's amazing that they invite traditional artists to perform their art, but at the same time they give them and they ask them and they stimulate them to bring in new themes. So I think the unique aspect that I find in Performing Diaspora is this blend of tradition and cutting edge new themes. And also not only themes but also how they perform it, so we can experiment with our art form, retaining its good features, but at the same time talking about the contemporary themes. Like in my performance, not only I'm experimenting with the format, because Nautanki is generally performed in open spaces, but here I will be performing indoors and to a smaller audience, much smaller audience than what Nautanki is actually performed for. As I told you, thousands of people attend Nautanki performances. Here we will have a small audience, but it will be more intimate, I guess. And then I'm experimenting with the theme. I'm bringing in a very contemporary new theme that I'll talk about more. Also, I'm compressing the length of the piece. It's going to be 30 minutes. And as I told you, traditionally, Nautanki is performed for 8 hours or more than that. But what I love about Performing Diaspora is that it gives opportunity to artists who do not necessarily belong to the mainstream or commercial mainstream, I would say, of art. And they don't cater, they might not be catering to mass taste. They want to say something special through something special. And programs like Performing Diaspora are very good for that. So as I said before, in this piece that I'm developing, I'm experimenting with the theme. Usually in Nautanki, themes are traditional. So Nautanki performances talk about traditional heroes, mythological stories and all those kind of things. But in this Nautanki, we are talking about a very contemporary social issue, and it relates to immigrants from India, to the United States. Recently what has been happening is young men who come from India to study or work in the United States, they go back to India and they marry, they do arranged marriages. Arranged marriages has been a tradition in India where your family looks for a match for you. So they go back and under family pressure or on their own will, they do arranged marriages and take usually huge amount of dowry. And dowry is a gift in cash or kind from the bride side to the groom side. So sometimes they would take millions of rupees as dowry, and then they will come back, return to the United States, promising their brides that they will come back and get them. Sometimes what happens is they never return. I'm not saying all of them. There are many wonderful people, but there have been a lot of instances where they don't go back, and I don't know, for various reasons, maybe the difference between educational or cultural, because when they come here they change and they have a different lifestyle, these young men. So what happens is maybe they don't have similar values, or maybe they're just plain greedy because they get money and then they don't want to go back. And many times these people have something going on here too. So maybe they have a girlfriend or a partner here in the United States, and so they are kind of satisfied physically and emotionally, and they don't go back to India to get their brides. Brides, on the other hand, of course, they feel totally cheated, and their life is ruined because it's a traditional society. So it is very hard to get out of the marriage and then remarry, and even if they do that, then there is a stigma of separating and getting remarried, and then what about all that money that they gave as dowry? So this piece that I'm doing talks about this issue, and this is a very contemporary issue, and an organization like Performing Diaspora has given me this opportunity to bring light to this issue. So in this piece I will talk. So this is an experimentation on the theme level, on the substance or message level, and on the structure of performance level. As I said, I'm doing it indoors. I'm doing it very short, for a short duration, as compared to the original Nautanki, how they're done. Plus I'm also trying to bring in maybe I would bring in piano or something. So I'm trying to bring new elements so that it's about America also, because it's not, the story itself is not only about India but also about America. So I'm trying to bring in all those elements. Let's see what happens. I don't know what they will take. The impressions I want them to take when they see this performance and then they go back is to think about a couple of issues, maybe more. One is the whole culture of materialism, and it doesn't only relate to one culture, but it relates to many cultures where people are concerned about money and material gains. And that's one of the reasons immigrants come from other countries to the US, to earn money, right? Or to get a better life. And how to define better life, what is better life? Getting a house or having a bank balance, is that better life? Or living with your community and with emotions and rooted, is that better life? So I want people, when they go out, though it's a very humorous piece, but it doesn't mean that the theme is frivolous. Theme is very serious, but Nautanki's style is to tell about a serious issue in a humorous way. So it's kind of a satire and a farce depicting a serious issue. So I want audiences to go back and think about these issues, and also the problems that immigrants face and the value clashes, culture clash that they face. It's not about some people are bad. It is about how different cultures have different demands, and how people are stuck between many cultures.